much. I really poured my heart into it. I really was blessed by some of the laughters, some of the ahs, some of the oohs. There's a deep undertone that I do have going in the meeting. I mean, in the movie. I hope you guys saw. And that's the aspect about that line that we seem to have kind of forgotten and overcrossed and abandoned, of the division between what it means to be an individual and what a business actually is. That sometimes when we blur that line, even in error's sake, for the benefit, we can end up with circumstances like we went through in the movie. It's up to each one of us to change in the way that we operate, the way that we look at the world. So it's my hope that some way it will invoke a little of that consideration in each of you. Thank you all so much. I would love to hear anything you guys have to say or questions.
I honestly think you should send a copy to the police department so that they can and honestly put on there, please try to enjoy it. And one to Bill Price as well. It'll be up to them if they want to enjoy it or not.
I did send them invites, and I personally handed to a couple different officers the flyer to encourage them, because it's difficult. I understand. There's an abrasion there. I'm not trying to say police are bad. It's the individual's poor choices. Whether we're anchored out or wearing a uniform of a Dairy Queen guy, it's our mindset that we're only ones that are able to be controllable. And sometimes we forget to even think in that regard. So hopefully they will watch it and get the deep meaning instead of just being a fence.
Well, that's why they have copies. They can watch their leisure when they do decide they want to see it. You're like,
I am curious. Is there anyone here that would be willing to share a link for me or spread the word to other people that you think there was something value in this movie? Thank you. I poured 2 years into it. I love you all so much. And I love everyone. That's why it's going to go up on the internet for free.
There's something I don't get, but I think we can do something about it. The city council knows that Bill Price has a organized crime gang that's not just taking votes with a false application of the law, but something deeper than that. It's stealing boats, it's stealing engines from boats, making people homeless. If half the people in this room got hold of a complaint form, which you can get on the internet, from the county grand jury, and you can sign it, you don't have to sign it with your name, you can file it anonymously to the county grand jury. If there's enough of them, they may investigate this and see why we have someone that's a known criminal still out there as an officer of the law. I've talked to some city council people. They know that he's a thief. I've been told that the chief of police has been informed, and still nothing's done. So if everybody, or if half the people in this room, file something with the county grand jury, maybe we'll see some action. Because nobody in city council or law seems to want to do anything about it.
Yeah. I appreciate your sentiments, and I realized that I got a little bit political more than I really intended with the piece. But that kind of came out of circumstance, you know. I mean, that was my life. I went through those circumstances. My friends passed away right there, and suddenly, in the midst of all of this turmoil and mayhem, comes a beautiful wedding. You know, there's a specialness in all of us, whether we're part of the community out there, or part of the community on here. And I would hope that in answering or offering my view in your sentiment there, that we as a community would find ways more healthful in which to address these matters instead of turning to these old abrasion ways of complain against this person. If perhaps we could be a little more patient. There's a unique thing about this community out here that I've come to acknowledge and experience, and that is that we're all over the place. We're so diverse. There is no way you're going to get us to all or majorly or any of that, unless it's food. But we get along. We understand each other's hardships. We share those hardships. And we all share those hardships in life, too. And so instead of looking at it differently, if we realize, I got to overcome mine, and part of it is loving this person in front of me. There was an experiment that was done where they took the human cells, DNA, put it in a petri dish, and stuck it into an environment, and the environment was predominantly filled with unhealthful, decaying cells. And of course, the exposure to those cells began a rapid dying and decaying around the perimeter of the good cells that were just promoted. They took them out, they placed them into an environment that was filled with healthy, thriving cells. And in time, those cells not only regenerated, but began to proliferate. My viewpoint of this is that this is a great opportunity for us to consider our mindsets. That science suggests that there are two prime aspects we think from. It's either a core of fear or a core of love. I see it as fear is a disabling thought, love is the enabling thought. So when we operate from a disabling element by default, without even realizing, oh my gosh, how are you? Are you okay? Instead of, wow, you look beautiful today. Good to see you. A love viewpoint. When our society operates unaware in this predominant facet of fear-based thinking, we are that unhealthy environment. And every child born is that cell brought into it. For the sake of the children, for the sake of ourselves, to change our minds can begin a transition to make our environment the healthy environment, so that when we have situations like Bill Price, we as a healthful, loving community can come to him to understand his disposition, guide and encourage him out of that viewpoint to the healthier love. Anyone else? Thank you guys so much. I don't want to hold you up any longer. I really, really, really appreciate everybody being here.